still work though. I'm not sure. Would it still work? I don't know. But basically, let's just say this is the part. Okay, and then our stuff disappears. Now we get out. Our backpack is visible once again. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna show you guys. Back at another tutorial on reactive math. So I got a suggestion the other day, right? So someone wants me to make a region or an area where if you go on it, all your backpack items, so all the items in your backpack will basically disappear or basically will be invisible, so you can't use them. So if you go in this area, right, you won't be able to use any of your items. So that's basically the purpose of this tutorial, is to make this idea. So let's say we have an area, right? So let's say, oops, didn't need to do that. Okay. So let's say we have this area right here. This is probably like a safe zone. And when you go on it, your backpack will basically be invisible. So you can't use any of your items. So let's say this is the base part right here. Let's make this, I don't know, let's make this a lighter blue actually, like this. And then what you want to do in this tutorial is actually make a region. So a region 3 is basically a part of Roblox scripting where you can actually detect whether or not something or pretty much anything enters the region itself, and you can do stuff when they enter the region. For example, if a player enters the region, you can do stuff for the player, right? So for example, we can, let's say it's a safe zone, we can make the player's health, you know, infinite, right? So let's call this region. So, or let's call this no backpack region. Backpack region. And then it's going to be the actual, like, we'll cover the entire thing. So when a player goes inside of it, so let's actually make this transparency. When a player goes inside of it, the player's items will be invisible. So this is kind of like a safe zone or whatever the player, whatever the guy wants me to make. So this is the area, right? So let's say, here we have, let's make a local script. Okay, so let's actually make a variable for the region. So local region equals game.workspace. No backpack region, right? And yeah, okay, so that's it. Let's make a variable for the local player. And remember, make sure this is a local script, by the way. Local player equals game.player.local player, and then character. So local car equals player.character. This is the player's character. All right. So let's do a while to do loop. So let's do while wait one do. So this will basically loop every 1 second, and each second, right, we want to check if a player is inside this region. So how can we actually do that? So first we need region 3. The region 3, of course, because we need that. We can make a region which has the same size as this part right here, because this is not the actual region we can use. This is just a part for our reference. So what we can do is actually do local, and we can call this area. So local area or region 3 region, call this no backpack region. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but it's whatever. Okay, now we do region 3.new. This makes a new region 3 because we actually have to make it in the script. All right, we can't actually use the part, so we have to make a region 3 with the same dimensions of the part. So how can we actually do that? So first, there's 2 parameters, and this is a bit confusing, but just bear with me. Just pretty much, if you don't understand, just copy whatever I'm doing. So first, I'm gonna do region. So this is the region, the actual region part. Dot position minus region dot size divided by 2. Make this in brackets, by the way, and then copy and paste this, and then make another parameter. This is the other parameter. The only difference is this is adding. All right. So all this does is really make a region 3 with the same dimensions, as this part right here in terms of size. And that's pretty much it. Now it's a bit confusing, so it's like the position. So position should be like the center right here, and then half of its size, so it's like, I'm not sure, but basically makes the same size, makes the region with the same size as this part, because we're using region. This is the region part. All right, so this is the region that we are using. So we want to check whenever a player has entered. So we can check that by binding or okay, basically what we're gonna do. So local and then parts. So parts will be all the parts that enter this region, right? But we don't want any part, right? We don't want, for example, like this part is probably also in this region too, but we don't care, right? We only care if a player's character, player's body parts enter this region. And then we can fire the code, what we want to fire. Local parts in region. So this is all the parts in region. And what we can do is actually do game.workspace and then get whitelist. I think it's like, let's see, what's get, I think I forgot what it was. Also, sorry, what the hell? I think I forgot. Find parts. Is region 3 empty? So find parts in region 3. Okay, for some reason that's deprecated. I'm not sure why. But you want to use find parts in region 3 with whitelist. So what it does, it makes a whitelist, which is self-explanatory. And it makes a whitelist for the only things you want to find in this region. And in this case, it's the player's character. So how can we do this? In this parameter, first we want to specify the region. So the region is the no backpack region, the one that we just made. And the thing we only want to find in the region, which is the character descendants. So get descendants, character.get descendants, basically all the characters' body parts, all the players' body parts. So that's the only thing we want to find in this region. We don't care about anything else. So now we're done that. Let's make a variable, and then this is basically, so not region, so the is in region. So this is either true or false. So if the player, if in this case it's the local player, if the local player is in the region. All right. So first, okay, so we made everything. All right, so now let's loop. Now this is actually a table, so we want to loop through all of this, and we want to check if all the parts in this region, when we made the whitelist, if it is part of the local player. So I want to do for iv part in pairs, parts in region, which is a table, and do if part find first ancestor player.name. So if this part actually belongs to the player, which is the local player again, then we'll do this thing. Okay, now when we find the player inside this region, all we have to do is basically make the backpack invisible. So how can we do that? We can do game.starterGUI .enable, I think it was the set core GUI enabled, and then enum.core type core GUI type backpack, and then false because it's invisible. All right. Actually, I don't think we need this variable. Yeah, we don't actually need this variable. Actually, let's copy and paste this. Let's use this variable. So is in region equals true. So if is in region equals true, meaning if the player is in the region, then we make the backpack disappear by making the visible false. Else we'll make this true, meaning the backpack is visible. All right, so let's see if this works. So basically, just a summary. We made the region, right? And then we get a whitelist for all the parts we want to find. We loop through all the parts that we want to find in this region, or that's currently in the region. And then if the part where we loop through each all the parts, and if the part belongs to the player, we then specify the in region variable to true, meaning the local player is in the region, and we make the backpack invisible. So let's see if this works. Let's actually make a spawn. Okay. And then let's actually play. So I just added some stuff in the starter pack. So let's see if this actually works. So if you go in this region. Oh wait, okay, that was bad. I was supposed to make this can flag equals false, but I think you kind of saw that. because my player kind of glitched in a little bit. Alright, let's see. Oh wait, oh my god, I'm so dumb. Make this can collide equals false and anchor is true. Okay, there we go, that should be done. Actually, technically that should have still worked though. I'm not sure. Would it still work? I don't know, but basically let's say this is the part. Okay, and then our stuff disappeared. Now we get out. Our backpack is visible once again. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more, be sure to like and subscribe. Suggest what you want next as a tutorial. And that's pretty much it. So see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoy.